Good morning, it's Jeremy. It's Wednesday, October the 23rd. Beautiful fall day. I'm just down at Toronto Harbourfront, and we've only got one sailboat left at anchor there. Today what I'm doing is, the last couple of videos I've looked at the new GNSS receiver that I have, and what I want to do today is incorporate that with mapping. We're going to look at OpenStreetMap, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my software so I can do a drive test. In other words, I can put in my GPS and my spectrum analyzer, and I can drive along a path and automatically record the signal strength. That's the idea, so I can compare it against, let's say, a propagation study. But today I'm just going to do some manual entries just to see how it works. Here's the setup. So I've got a laptop here. I'm running a serial program that you saw in the last video for GNSS, and I got a good fix here, a 3D fix on my location just with GPS. It's set up on COM10, and it's 4800. If you want to get the other satellite systems, the GLONASS or the Galileo or the Baidu, you have to go to a higher bit rate. But I'm just using the GPS because I've got a good fix. There's my spectrum analyzer. I'm using a whip antenna. And there's a GNSS receiver. I've got the details in the blog post. So I'm going to go over to Camtasia now. We're going to see what we see on the spectrum analyzer. Okay, so we're looking at the spectrum analyzer, and for my reference signal, what I'm going to be using is marine weather at 162.4 megs. So that's what I've got it set up there, a center frequency span of 100 kilohertz. And I'm going to go into mapping mode here on the spectrum analyzer software. And I'm going to load a map which I've got from OpenStreetMap. So let's load a map. And I'm going to use this map here. So there's my map. Now what I have to do is I have to put in the coordinates of the map to the software so it knows, because we're not online here. So we have to know what the boundaries of the map are. So there's OpenStreetMap. When I created the map, what happens is you go to OpenStreetMap.com, you go to Export, and you go to Save. Now here are the coordinates of the area that you're going to save, and you pick a scale here that suits your purposes, and then there's a button below here which just says Download. So you don't use this Export button here, you use the Download button here, which downloads this particular picture. Now you have to enter these reference coordinates into the software. So let's say, for instance, here you say set map coordinates. So the minimum latitude here is 436062. 43.6062. Enter. The maximum latitude is 43.7334. 43.7334. The minimum longitude is minus 79.4802. And the maximum longitude here is 79.2468. So then we save that. Now what you want to do, so you don't have to enter those coordinates again, is save this as a session. So I'm going to export the session into here. So then I can recall that and not have to enter those coordinates again. So let's put on the GPS and see where we are here. There's a GPS control panel. I'm external, and I'm on COM10. That's the prolific driver. I'm at 4800. Okay, so the GPS is now connected, and it's getting a latitude and longitude. Okay, so that's working. Now, in terms of the map, there's the whole area of Toronto there, and you can see it's showing our GPS location there. So in the GPS mode, what you'd do is you'd set it up down here for, say, a speed of the car and let's say the maximum recording in points and let's say the minimum setting. So in other words, you take a reading every so often, or you take a reading every so many meters. So you could set that up for the actual drive. But today we're just going to use point by point. So here, what I'm going to do, since I'm going to do a walkabout today, is I'm just going to click on this point. It'll take a measurement and save it. So I'm going to go into the click mode here. Select your mode here, click. So I'm going to click on this location, and it's going to take a reading. Okay, so it's taken a reading there of -71 dBm, occupied bandwidth, the time, a latitude, and a longitude. Okay, so I'm going to go to several other points and do the same thing, just to do a walkabout test. Incidentally, this looks like it's exactly the right location. So everything's good. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to export this as a session. This was my original session with just the map and its location. Now I'm going to export this with this particular reading. And I'm going to go somewhere else and take another reading. Okay, so that's it for now. So we're going to go to another location and take another reading, just to see how this works out. Okay, so I've moved uptown now. I'm at the University of Toronto campus. So there's my setup. I've imported the session with the one measurement taken down at Harbourfront, and we're going to take another measurement here. Okay, so right now I've been on a walkabout. I walked up from the Toronto Harbour. I'm now at University of Toronto, and I've got my GPS connected there on COM10, and it's getting a nice fix. And that's where we are, right on the right location. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to select the click mode, and I'm going to take another measurement, and we'll maybe do another measurement as well. But we're just just walking around here just to see how this thing works, and then we'll put it on the automatic GPS mode, and we'll drive in a car and see how that works. Okay, so I'm going to click here. Okay, so that's taken another measurement here. So I'm going to export that as a session. Okay, so I can bring that up again if I want to add another measurement to it. So there we are. We're done for now. Okay, so we're in our final location here. We're in North Toronto at Yonge and Eglinton Park. And there's the park there. And here's our setup. So I've imported the last session, which includes 2 measurements. So we're going to take our third and last measurement here. Okay, so right now I'm in North Toronto. We're going to take our third measurement here. As I say, this is just a walkabout before we do the actual drive test in a car, just to see how this works. So there's my GPS there. I'm on COM10. I got a good fix. And there's our location, which is exactly right. It's the park, North Toronto Yonge Eglinton Park. So I'm going to go into the click mode, and I'm going to take a third measurement here. So there's our third measurement, and I'm going to export that as a session so we can look at it later on. So I'm going to go File, Export Session. I'm going to save it. Remember, we've got the first session was just the map coordinates, and then the other 3 were the actual measurements.